Hi there, I'm Clarice and I'm a child development teacher, Board-Certified Lactation Consultant, and early education advocate. And today we'll be discussing how to set limits with your toddler and preschooler without yelling. If you want to learn how to do this, please keep watching. When people talk about setting limits with children and discipline, it's often associated with being cruel, that you have to be this domineering tyrant for children to listen to you. But the truth is, you don't have to set limits this way. You don't need to nag or yell or scream to set healthy boundaries with your toddler or your preschooler. You need to be willing to be the authority. You need to be willing to be the parent your child needs. So this isn't about controlling your child. It's about controlling what you think and what you do. And that often means doing the difficult tasks and making the tough decisions, even if it means your child doesn't like it or your child gets mad at you. So how do you become this confident leader? How do you guide your child with respect without being harsh or cruel? The first tip is avoid taking your child's behaviors personally. What you think of your child's behaviors is going to affect how you discipline them. If you believe your toddler isn't listening to you because they want to ignore you on purpose or they want to annoy you, then you're going to act differently than if you knew they're pushing back because it's part of their development. You would approach them with more empathy, with much more understanding right from the start. And your child senses this. Toddlers and preschoolers test to see their power and their will, and they want to see if you can be trusted with containing this power, which can sometimes be really, really scary for them. So they want to be able to trust what you say and do, and this is done by enforcing the limits that you set. The second tip is set the limit early. Avoid giving your child too many chances to correct their behavior. If you do this, you're very likely to get annoyed or frustrated because they continue to push back, which then leads to yelling or wanting to yell. I'll give you an example. You tell your child it's time to get into the car seat. He says he can do it himself. So you say, okay, great, go ahead. You notice though that he is not trying to get into the car seat. He sits on the side of his car seat and he plays with his seat belts instead. So you tell him, climb into your car seat. You need me to help you? And he says, no, I do it. So you wait for him to get in, but he continues to play. You don't help him into the car seat. You have really, really good intentions. You really want him to have that opportunity to exercise his independence and do what you ask without having to physically help him. But ultimately, this waiting game becomes a disservice to your child and eventually is going to rile you up. This leads us to the third tip. Follow through on your limits. Don't confuse respectful discipline with permissive parenting. The limits you set are necessary for a child's healthy development, and not following through on your limits can lead to frustration and ultimately yelling. So the goal is for your child to trust what you say. You give your child an opportunity to exercise their independence and their will, absolutely. But children lack self-control and they get distracted. And if this happens, they'll need more guidance to do what you ask. So sometimes they need more than your words. They need you to intervene. So let's rewind back to that example. So you tell your child it's time to get into the car seat. He says he can do it himself. You say, okay, great, go ahead. And then he doesn't. He sits on the side of the car seat. He starts to play with the seat belts. And so this is what you're going to be doing differently. You are going to narrate what you see and let him know what the consequence will be. It looks like you're playing with the seat belts instead of getting into your car seat. If you're not going to sit down, I'm going to help you. And then he'll tell you, no, I do it. Now that he's aware of the possible consequence, you can give that one chance to internalize that limit and for him to remember it. So you can say, oh, okay, climb in. And you can motion to the car seat as an added direction. By this point, your child will get into the car seat. But if your child ignores you, this is when you tell him, it looks like you need my help. I'm helping you to the car seat. And you pick him up and you place him in the car seat. Your child might be protesting at this point, might be crying and saying, no, I do it. but you follow through with the consequence that you stated, calmly and confidently. As you practice these strategies and remain consistent during moments like this, your child will learn over and over again to trust what you say. And you're going to get better at staying calm and setting limits without having to yell. Taking care of yourself and your child without losing control of your emotions sends a very powerful message. It sends the message that you're not afraid of their feelings and that you're well equipped to manage the situation. Your child will trust you more and test you less. I hope you found these tips helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and if you have suggestions for topics you would like me to cover in future videos, feel free to send me an email. If you want to support this channel, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.